What's going on, moviegoers? If you're new to the channel, my name is Christian. Welcome to C-Roll Productions. You guys, we're going to be talking Marvel villains, the MCU villains that we've had over Phase 1, 2, 3, and the start of Phase 5, you guys. Now, we all know Marvel's had that problem, right? That problem of some of their villains, well, not some, most of their villains being subpar. Just not great. And I'm really happy that Marvel has turned the page on that, because now their villains are ultimately just as great or as important as their heroes. And that's what they were missing for years. I'm really happy that Kevin Feige took the initiative in changing that aspect of their movies and just having these little, these whack villains that nobody really cared for. Like, the Dark Elves, stuff like that, or Malekith. Some of the worst villains we've ever seen in any comic book film. But in this video, you guys, I'm going to give you my top 10. My top 10. Now, my top 10 is not going to be your top 10. We need to understand that right now. And that's okay. We're different. We're not going to have the same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. It's just not going to happen. And if we do, hey, cool. We're on the same page. But before I dive deep into my top 10, let's just go over some of the villains that we've seen in the MCU thus far, you guys. So we've had Ironmonger, Obadiah Stane. We've had Whiplash, Ivan Vanko, Abomination, Red Skull, Loki, the Frost Giants, Ultron. We've had Hydra. We've had, Ronan the Accuser, Dormammu, Malekith, the Dweller in the Darkness, Aldrich Killian, Justin Hammer, Aisha. We've had Ghost, Caecilius, Erisham the Judge, Taskmaster, Dreykov. We've had Yellow Jacket, MODOK, Alexander Pierce, Ulysses Claw. We've had Ego, Hela, Gore the God Butcher, Mysterio, Zemo, Vulture. We've had Namor, Kukulkan. We've had Wanda. We've had the Green Goblin, including some of the Sinister Six. We've had Wenwu, Killmonger, and we've had Thanos, you guys. So we've had a lot of villains throughout Phase 1, 2, 3, 4, and now going into Phase 5, you guys. And it's been great these last couple of phases. Really propelling these villains. Really establishing these villains, you guys. And I'm ultimately been really happy lately as far as the villains go. But now let's dive deep, you guys. So we got to dive deep. Oh, and Kingpin, too. Kingpin was in Hawkeye, right? I can't wait for... Look, Hawkeye's Kingpin, he was cool. He wasn't great. He wasn't the Kingpin we knew from the Daredevil series. So when Daredevil Born Again comes out, I'm ultimately going to be excited for that rendition of Kingpin, because I want it to be a little bit less Hawkeye Kingpin. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people had that complaint with Kingpin and Hawkeye. He got his ass kicked by Kate Bishop. Like, what? I know, it's just, I want the Kingpin to smash somebody's head in the door like in the Daredevil series. Like, that's the Kingpin I ultimately missed, you guys. He didn't even make my top 10 because, that iteration of Kingpin, that small portion that we got him in, and, the Hawkeye series, it just wasn't enough for me. So when Daredevil Born Again comes out, you guys, I'm definitely going to have to reconsider, my MCU villains, or my top 10 at least, you guys. But let's dive deep into my top 10, shall we? So starting at number 10, we got Kang the Conqueror. Now, we first got Kang's introduction in the Loki series. He was great, but he wasn't the Kang we were all anticipating, right? And then we got Kang in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, played by Jonathan Majors. Wonderful job. But ultimately, he landed on my number 10 list because he got his ass whipped by Ant-Man. Now look, Jonathan Majors was astonishing in the performance as Kang. He was great. And someone said that this was the weakest Kang. The weakest iteration of Kang that we will have seen. He got his butt kicked by Ant-Man and the Wasp, right? So I think he deserves a number 10 spot. But the number 10 spot is still great. I mean, like I said, I still love what Jonathan Majors brought to the table. He was very menacing. I loved his performance. I loved the way he walked, the way he moved. It just really solidified his place in the MCU. Coming in at number 9, you guys, we have Wenwu, coming from the Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. A villain I particularly really liked. I thought he was brutal at the beginning of the film, but you also got to see the background and the change, the change and growth of the character throughout the film. Him meeting his wife, him having his kids, putting the 10 rings aside so he can be a father and a husband. Like, it was just wonderful. And by the end of the film, when he did die, I was devastated because I was like, no, like, I know he's the antagonist, but I really liked Wenwu. So Wenwu comes at number 9, you guys. Number 8, we have the Green Goblin in Spider-Man No Way Home, played by the GOAT, William Dafoe. Fantastic. I mean, look, he's the Green Goblin. We loved him in the first Spider-Man film. And when he was announced to be back as the Green Goblin in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, boy, his performance didn't disappoint. Oh my God, just the way how he goes back and forth to Norman and the Green Goblin was so good, and his evil, sinister laugh. And when he was whipping Peter's ass through that apartment complex, throwing him through the floor, I was just like, oh my God, look, he killed Aunt May. Ultimately, when your villains are super powerful, they aren't afraid to go through with their plans and their ideals. So when he killed Aunt May, I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my, yo, he's here. The Green Goblin is here. And William Dafoe delivered an all-time great performance, man. I mean, I absolutely loved him as the Green Goblin in No Way Home. And then moving on to number 7, you guys, we have Loki. Now, Loki is an all-time cult classic villain. We all love Loki, the first Avengers, the first Thor. He's great. You just can't go wrong with Loki. I mean, Loki's a beloved character throughout the entirety of the MCU. He has his own Disney Plus series, but I really had to rank him at number 7 on this list, you guys. Number 6 goes to Namor. Akukukan. Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Look, Thanos Rother killed it. I loved this iteration. I love the Mayan culture. I love the aesthetic. I love the feel. I love the score. Everything about it, he was menacing. He was scary. The seriousness of his character, the seriousness of him wanting to protect and hide from the rest of the world was so powerful. And then when he killed Queen Ramonda, I was like, damn, there is no joke. Like, he was so extremely just great in that film. And then by the end of the movie, I mean, him losing to, Shuri's Black Panther, just seeing those two get down was so freaking awesome. Namor, ultimately, you guys, was one of my most beloved Marvel villains. So he comes in at number 6. Number 5, I'm giving it to Killmonger. Michael B. Jordan in the first Black Panther film. Boy, oh boy, man, Michael B. Jordan went to a dark place, and he stated it. He avoided family, he avoided friends during the production of Black Panther because he really wanted to hone into that character. He wanted to be Killmonger. He wanted to live that life, and it really showed through his performance. He was so damn great in that movie. I mean, and to understand his narratives of, Wakanda's been here this whole time. You know what I mean? And y'all ain't helping your people outside of Wakanda. You're selfish. And I'm here to take over. I'm here to do my thing. Loved it. And I loved every combo he had with T'Challa. Absolutely freaking loved it, you guys. Killmonger was so great. And when he died at the end of Black Panther, I was devastated. I was like, no. And I was so glad to see him return in Wakanda Forever when Shuri went to the ancestral plane. I was like, oh, I did not expect that whatsoever. I was like, that was brilliant. Just to see Eric Killmonger back, you guys, was dope. Or even seeing him in the What If series. Fantastic. So Killmonger's number 5. Number 4, we're going Wanda Maximoff, you guys, and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Look, you sympathize for Wanda. She's gone through so much in the MCU. Losing her brother. Losing her boyfriend. Losing her twins. Losing her parents. Losing her mind, essentially. So when WandaVision rolls around, you are fully just sympathizing for her as a character. And you understand it. And then by the time Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness comes out, you really get why she's trying to do what she's doing. She's alone. And what bothers me the most is that none of the Avengers try to approach her or help her or anything like that. Like, what's up with Hawkeye? Like, weren't you kind of close with Wanda? Why aren't y'all there for her? Like, that's one thing I didn't understand. I was like, I thought y'all, the Avengers, were like a family. Like, why aren't you guys helping each other out, emotionally? I was really bugged out by that. But man, in Multiverse of Madness, she didn't shy away. She destroyed everybody. Killing the Illuminati, you guys. She murked everybody off like it was nothing. Nothing. Black Bolt, what mouth? I was like, oh shit. And then turning Reed Richards into spaghetti. And then going out with Captain Marvel. I was just like, this is great. Wanda was an all-time great villain, you guys. So she ranks at number 4. Number 3, look, this is going to be very surprising. I'm going Baron Zemo in Civil War. Wow, he had no powers. He didn't really do anything. But if you think about it, Baron Zemo was essential to the Avengers disbanding. Think about it. If the Avengers never got disbanded, and by the time Infinity War came, Thanos arrives to Earth, the Avengers would have been together. They could have possibly took on Thanos. But with Zemo's narrative in Civil War, all he wants to do was hurt them from the inside. And that's what he did. He broke them apart, separating the Avengers. So when Infinity War and Endgame came by, guess what? They were disbanded. They weren't talking. Cap and, Tony weren't friends. So essentially, he's the main reason why they lost. Perfect. Zemo didn't even have to lift a finger. And that's just how powerful and great of a villain he was, you guys. So he ranks at number 3. Number 2, we're going Ultron from What If, baby. I mean, Ultron from What If, going through the multiverse, killing up worlds. I couldn't believe it. Having the Infinity Stones, killing Thanos like that. Unbelievable. Loved Ultron. Oh my God. Look, I liked Ultron in, Avengers Age of Ultron. But Ultron and the What If series was so damn scary. When he was fighting the Watcher, oh my God. When he was just breaking through dimensions, I was just like, yo, this guy is freaking terrifying. And that was just the animated series. Can you imagine if we see some kind of iteration like that and possibly like Ultron Returns? That would be very scary, you guys. And then coming in at number 1, you guys, you have Thanos. Thanos is still number 1 to me. I mean, even when he first appeared in Infinity War and he beat the living crap out of the Hulk, that was just a statement that I'm here to stay and good luck. It was crazy to me when I first saw the Hulk get the paws put on with the 1-2 punch combo out. It was crazy. And then going into, Endgame, him snapping away half of the universe, ultimately winning. It was just, he broke the Avengers and he won. But a price was paid, you guys. Thanos was such a well-written, well-played, well-established villain. Teased since the first Avengers. Then we saw him in a little glimpse of Guardians of the Galaxy, which I really liked. That scene with him and Ronan, you guys. Oh, that scene was so good. And then you see him at the end of Age of Ultron. He's like, fine, I'll do it myself. Thanos is still number 1. And I'm hoping that with Kang and these different iterations and the multiverse Kangs and, the Kang dynasty, boy, oh boy, you guys, I'm hoping that Kang can move up on this list and we can see just how powerful Kang really is. Roma Tut Kang. Oh man, I'm hyped, you guys. I'm excited. I'm pumped. But post your comments down below. Let me know you guys' ranking of the MCU villains. Your top 10 that is. Please post your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Peace.